For many years, we have been using augmentative and alternative communication devices in order to recover communication abilities in people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. We can distinguish two categories of communicators: low-tech devices, such as communication boards, slate with marker, ETRAN boards, and the high-tech devices. The latter are based on different user interfaces for computer access, such as touchscreen, scanning, eye tracking, and brain-computer interface. ALS is generally characterized by the progressive loss of the patient motor skills. Initially, the patient, especially in the bulbar type, lose the ability to speak, but they still retain the ability to move their limbs, also for communicative purposes. At this stage, it can be useful to use an high-tech device with touchscreen access, endowed with speech synthesis that can be used to convey messages to those nearby the patient or far away, for example by telephone, thanks to the vocal synthesis. When almost of the body movements are lost, it's useful to employ a communicator with scanning access and a switch. Instead, when the patient retains only eye movements, for many years, eye trackers are used with success. Finally, when the patient has lost all movements, nowadays a kind of communicator based on the brain-computer interface is being used, but as yet with uncertain results. Well, CommuniCARE project has developed a suite of applications to help patients throughout the long course of their illness, practically from the beginning of ALS until the advanced stages, just before all segmental movements of the patient disappears. Our apps are based on touchscreen and scanning access. They are both valid and extremely economical methods. Here you can see the 7 icons of the application that we have developed. But let's go in order, starting with the first, with C-Touch. C-Touch is a virtual keyboard for touchscreen access. At variance with the common virtual keyboard of smartphone or tablet, our keyboard has a wide area for keys and a small area for messages. This functional choice is due to the fact that people with ALS from the early stages very often lack accurate hand movements. In this situation, large buttons are very useful. The virtual keyboard also has a number of features such as word prediction, useful to accelerate the writing process, vocal synthesis, the possibility to customize sentences, and the chronology feature to quickly recall the most recent phrases. Okay, sorry. The second app, named C-Scan, is a virtual keyboard based on the scanning access. As you know, the scanning access allows to control an application simply through a button or a sensor, generally called a switch. The patient presses the switch typically with his head, or for example with a movement of a finger or foot, in order to choose the letter highlighted by the scanner. As for the previous app, we have designed many features with the aim to accelerate the writing process, such as word prediction and chronology. The vocal synthesis is present also in this case. The third app, named C-Web, is dedicated to internet surfing. This app allows patients to surf the net simply by using a switch. We have developed a system that allows the users to select each element of the graphic user interface with great precision and remarkable speed. We, in fact, have been using this functional method for over 10 years, But just a few months ago, the same feature has also been adopted by a big computer company as a method of accessibility. This supports our belief that this is a very important and reliable method of access. The peculiarity of our app is that we combine a very precise and simple method of accessibility together with a simplified web browser with the aim to make the net surfing an easy task for our patient. The next app is named C-Alarm. It's an alarm module. The patient can call for help by selecting various kinds of alarm by scanning through a switch. C-Alarm starts very quickly and it's very simple to use. It saves automatically the date and the time of the activation in the chronology. The fifth app, C-Mouse. Thanks to the same scanning mouse used in the C-Web, the web browser application, it allows the patient to manage the whole Windows operating system. The patient can control every small element of the graphic user interface with great precision and speed. The user can click the buttons, open drop-down menu, make drag and drop and copy and paste operations. In order to insert text elements when required, a drop-down scanning keyboard appears. With C-Mouse, the patient can control all computer functions. The sixth app, named C-Domotic, is an application for environmental control. Thanks to an infrared remote control USB interface, the patient can control lights, TV, stereo, DVD player, and other electronic home devices, all that in the easy way, just pushing a switch. And finally, the last app. This is a link app. C-Start allows the patient to switch from one app to another in complete autonomy. The patient can launch and control all the applications based on the method of scanning. Here you can see the whole device, the tablet PC, the 7 icons of the CommuniCARE apps, and the command switch for the scanning access, and the infrared interface for environmental control. Now, I want to quickly present a case study. Anicetto is a patient in advanced stage of ALS who still have a very little movement of the thumb. Thanks to this movement and the C-Mouse, Anicetto is able to completely control Windows and any other PC program, including the software to direct his DJ radio station. Here is a sentence written by Anicetto about C-Mouse. Thanks to C-Mouse, I am able to use my PC. I can use Outlook, Word, Facebook. I am able to surf the net, and I can still direct my DJ radio station. What do users think about the suite of CommuniCARE apps? We recruited 19 users, 12 males and 7 females, with the mean age of 63 years. We provided them the suite CommuniCARE, and after a month of use, we administered 2 questionnaires. And this is what we found. In the figure, you can see the effect of a CommuniCARE app, or CommuniCARE app, on 5 activities such as convey message, PC access, surf the net, environmental control, and call for help. As everyone can see, the use of CommuniCARE apps greatly reduced the patient disability in all items. Also, the Quebec user evaluation of satisfaction with assistive technology reported very positive results. All items ranged from 4 to 5 points, which means a result between quite satisfied and very satisfied about the device. that we provide. Allora, CommuniCARE app are the result of over 10 years clinical experience, working directly with the users, implementing new features, and finding ways to constantly simplify our apps. The apps have proved to be useful in reducing communicative impairments in ALS patients with residual movements. They have shown to be appreciated by the user, and they have demonstrated that the scanning access is an effective and reliable method of PC access for people with ALS. More than 500 patients participated in helping to improve day by day the CommuniCARE apps. And in closing, I want to say thanks to all of them, and of course, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. I'm sure there's questions from the floor for this, so if you'd raise your hand. Okay, so perhaps I'll start, Marco. So where do you get the apps from and how much do they cost?
Oh, posso valermi così evitiamo di... The application is, we now are developing this application. The application are for free. Now we have this application only in Italian language, but I have ready some dictionary for the word prediction in English, French, Dutch, German, and many other languages are ready if you want to have some copy of this application in a language, in English, for example. Write me at my email, and I send you the entire suite of application, and insert the dictionary in your language.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a question here at the side.
So I have a question about, first of all, I want to thank you very much for the presentation. It seems like it's a very practical approach to improving quality of life through communication. And I like the right hemisphere emphasis. The question I had was on slide 9, you showed 6 items. And I was wondering, as patients advance, even if there's no obvious cognitive change, fatigue will affect attention, visual attention. Are the programs flexible enough to reduce the number of items or make them more different, to make them easier to distinguish? As a person advances, can you modify the material they're using so it follows their level of capability?
This application, our application, follow the patient need from the beginning, when patient lose the ability to speak, and she retained the ability to write by hands, until we find a little movement in the patient, typically a head movement. We use a switch, a mechanical switch, to catch this movement. A switch like this, the patient click by the head. When the patient loses this movement and retain only eye movements, our application do not function with the patient without any movement, when the patient only have movement. We use a switch quando possiamo.
Okay, thank you. And do we have a final question anywhere? Yeah, okay, at the back.
Hi, my name is Eva Cham. I'm from the Vancouver ALS Center in Canada. I have a two-part question. The apps program that you've developed, are they specific to iPad or iProduct or Windows, PC tablet?
Yes, we developed these applications for Windows and Android. For Android, in this moment, we have 3 of the 7 applications ready. Only 3 for the moment. In Windows operating system, 7 applications.
Okay.
And they work and run on Windows XP 7 and Windows 8.
And my second part of the question is does the program, your ability to use the mouse, your switch click to access the apps, does it have the ability to access other programs? Let's say other applications that you download onto your tablet, let's say like a Skype program or a different application that's not, can it be used for other applications, other apps?
You ask if you use other application, Ultra apps.
Can you use CMouse for other applications?
Yeah. You can use CMouse for all applications. You can drag and drop Windows, open Skype, launch a call. You can use everything on the PC with CMouse and just a click and just a switch.
Thank you.
Okay.
And last question here, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah Feldman from Drexel in Philadelphia. Now that the iPad has access, an iOS 7 to a switch, will you be looking at
Si ho capito bene?
those?
Che sia l'iPad? Yes. Now, iPad have this method of accessibility. iPad, iPhone, and Mac computer with Mavericks. It's not the same, but it's very, very near this vicino alla nostra invention. Sorry for.
Okay, thank you, Marco, and thank you for that presentation.